Hey ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, what's going on? It is me, Nico, here to bring you guys Bricks by the Bay 2014 exhibition update number 2. And, wow guys, second update. And by the way, this is being being filmed on time, November 14th. So, hopefully it'll get uploaded at some point. It's probably not going to be uploaded on November 14th, but I'm going to put the recording date as that. So, yeah. Wow. Lots of stuff to talk about. And actually, guys, I will be posting pictures on Flickr this week, you know, to keep up with every single thing that's been going on in the updates on the Flickr page. I'm going to keep the YouTubers, the YouTuber fans of Misery Productions, as well as the Flickr fans of Misery Productions, satisfied. So hopefully I can get that rolling after I film this, at least this portion of the update. So without further ado, let's get started here. Now, as always, we have the award-winning Infiltration Setback on Yavin 4 version 2. Now, the progression on this is not, it's about the same as the last time. I would say it's at about 32.5%, and yeah, just not much to go over. Really, there's been mostly a lot of reconstruction to the version that was at Bricks by the Bay 2013. So a lot of reconstructing, a lot of fixing going around. Mostly just a lot of figure repositioning here, fixing up a lot of the grass work, tree detail, and stuff like that. As you can see, there's still a couple of overturned trees that are not meant to be turned over. But really everything else is clean for the most part. Here we have the main base plate with the shield generator. Yes, this is the top secret thing that I didn't want to show you guys before during the last couple of updates. That's the shield generator right there. Awesome looking, very, very nice. And it still works, you know. We just have to actually rewire this whole thing. That's why a bunch of these electrical wires are out. And these actually did carry an electrical current via that battery pack to every single one of the pyramids. However, we did not do a good job of getting the amount of proper wattage for really decent lighting to give the doors that holographic effect that we wanted. So what's going to happen now is we have to fully rewire the thing, and actually it's going to be a lot easier now that we have this wooden board, since we can actually just drill a hole right through it, and instead of having the wires go underneath the base plates and having a small lift underneath the base plates, we can have it go through and have every single base plate be on even ground. That way the battlefield isn't so uneven. So yeah, that's nice, but really aside from that, there's been nothing much else. I want to fix this whole thing to where it was at the convention so we could do the entire showcase video. And then after that, that's when I'll begin the actual progress on upgrading this to the way it was at Bricks by the to the way I want it to be going into Bricks Cascade and Bricks by the Bay 2014. Now, there's been a little thing as far as the size of this. I'm looking at this whole size of this board overall, and as you guys can tell, I don't really think this is a good I don't think this is a really, I shouldn't say stable, I don't really think it's a good depiction of a 14 base plate radius, at least going from side to side here. I actually believe you can fit 14 base plates going both ways, 14 base plates, 7 and then 7 again, and then 7 and 7 again. So I believe you can fit like 28 base plates here, and then 7 on the additional back way here, which is pretty much what I wanted. But I actually wanted maybe like another couple of, I'd say maybe like another 10 inches on both sides. But you know what, I can't complain. It's still pretty decent. I may have to change up the storyline a little bit, at least for the 2015 version, but I'm okay with that. So, you know, it's, aside from that, it looks pretty nice. We just have to continue putting the rest of the grass in, redo a bunch of the fire. I took out pretty much a lot of the droidicas that were just scattered around. They're over there. in the far corner. We just have to put those back, and then we have to fix up all of that grass. There's a bunch of remaining grass over there in the far corner. And then after that, we're going to start actually using those supplies that we have currently. And the good news is, I know I said the last update, I believe, that we were going to be doing a LEGO store trip that weekend after I filmed that update. However, that wasn't the case. There was a bunch of miscommunication amongst me and my mother, so instead of it being that weekend, now it's going to be this weekend. So we are still going to still do the supply run. It's just we had to wait an extra week to get the supplies that we needed. So during that supply run, I'm going to see how much unique grass pieces we can get. I got a huge deal on grass every time that I went down to the LEGO stores down there. We're hitting 2 LEGO stores in one day. And they're in close proximity to each other, so it's not going to be a challenge, but the challenge is going to be seeing if they have the parts that we need to at least complete this MOC and all of the other MOCs, which I'll be getting to later on in the update. So, yeah, we don't got a lot of time here, guys. I only got 15 minutes on this memory card, and I probably blew about 5 just talking about Yavin. So really, aside from that, we have like about maybe 20 Bricklink orders to make. Actually, no, yeah, I'd say like 20 to 30 still without the figures. And like I said, we're probably not going to add any more figures to this aside from droids. But if we do need extra clone figures, CAC would be more than happy enough to provide the weapons for us. And we should be getting more plate lockers, and also from Peyton to cover up the range, although we wouldn't necessarily need it now since the MOC won't actually be leaving the board anytime soon. But we would still like those plate lockers just to go with the rest of the MOC. And as you can see, I have 1 plate locker still left over. I gave the rest away at Breaks by the Bay that I had left over, which is kind of a stupid thing considering I didn't expect we were going to expand this thing while we were there. But yeah, definitely regretting it. So, yeah, that is Yavin 4. Now we'll move on to the Battle of Umbara, March to the Capital. 28% still, just like last time, nothing new. Just a lot of piece rearranging. I just looked over the battle that we're going to reenact from Umbara, and I realized how much of a waste of time putting all those droids in, how much of a waste of time it would be to put all those droids in. And so I'm not going to be using any droids in this MOC whatsoever. I totally got the wrong idea. So we're going to be going strictly clones versus Umbarans. And we are still going to include a lot of Umbaran vehicles, but, you know, there's not going to be a ton of droids in this MOC. But there is going to be, you know, the same amount of detail. We're still going to have the trench, or the cliff-like structure here in the middle of the path. I have to realign that pathway because, as you can see, I used a bunch of trans yellow studs. Those are actually supposed to be trans blue, and all of my trans blue studs are actually in the Chandrilla MOC. Luckily, I'm going to dismantle that MOC here shortly. Hopefully I can upload the showcase video for that soon, and once that showcase video is uploaded, then I'm probably going to dismantle that and use all the parts for separate MOCs. But yeah, so I have to redo the path. I gotta really focus on ordering those parts for the Umbarans, especially the heads. As you know, I already have 1 semi-complete Umbaran. All I need really is the head, and then I can post a picture of that up on Flickr. Oh, and then of course Peyton's Umbaran weapons. You know, that'll definitely complete the entire look of the Umbaran, and random mask for when we were painting the display for Yavin. So that's what we got going on right here. Now for Rishi. This MOC here, what I believe is at 27%. Again, same as last time. I've been doing some minor adjustments to it. I've mostly just been filling out the blanks as far as these 2 base plates here, and apologize for that random sound. Anyways, I'm getting the back edges here filled in, and I'm also trying to see what we can do as far as getting connector pieces down here. Oh, and by the way, still no word on sponsors for this MOC here. I still haven't paid off Peyton for the black plate lockers, so once we get those paid off, then I'm sure that we can get those weapons. And then same thing with Mayfix for you. I'm going to see if we can try to get some of his other products out into this MOC as well. Now, as for this MOC here, this is also being dependent on plate lockers. Although I'm already anticipating that that deal may fall through, so I am trying to reinforce them off to where we may not actually need plate lockers, but it's still going to be stable on the table that we're going to put it in. As you can see, I have a bunch of these 2x2 bricks with the hole in the middle of them. Basically, I'm going to see if we can make these bricks connect with a bunch of oops, wrong brick. These bricks here. Yeah, I don't know why this thing's not zooming in. Yeah, but just the one hole. The 1x2s, but with the one hole in the middle. We're going to try to get all of those in here and try to incorporate from there. And we are still doing the same amount of distance from the middle of the canyon to the back of the canyon. We're still using that as a main reference, and we're going to get that going shortly as far as getting this whole thing filled out, so that way it's just not like a bunch of base plates just sitting around not doing anything. So that is it for all of the Star Wars MOCs. To go over the progressions again, we have 32.5 or 33 if you guys just want to be want to have solid numbers. You want to have 28 for Umbara, and we got 27 for the Rishi Canyon Outbreak. Although those numbers may or may not have been switched around, because on my big board it may say differently, but that's what I have here on the update outline, so that may be changed in the item description. Also, another thing before we move on to the non-Star Wars MOCs is that as for the update photos, instead of having like the whole entire freaking outline in the update photo like before, in each single update photo, I'm just going to have the update for each singular MOC per photo. So like if I show a photo of Yavin, I'm going to have the update status for Yavin instead of having the update status for Umbara, Rishi, and Warhammer and the Combat League MOC in that same photo. So just wanted to let you guys know that that adjustment has been made. And now move on to Warhammer 40k. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Like I said, there has been some major disciplinary issues with Jeff, nothing involving the company, it's just that there's been some personal issues with him. And without his guidance, we really have we have nothing to show for Warhammer, so it's still at 22%, and same thing with Combat League. Although I can say, Warhammer is pretty much going to take up about maybe a good same amount of size as the Chandrila MOC is taking up. It's going to be on this table, I can guarantee that. But it's going to pretty much be as big as Chandrila, maybe a little bit bigger, and maybe about the same size as that other Warhammer MOC that we made, which we are reconstructing to do a final showcase video on before we tear it down, and then move on to the second Warhammer MOC. But yeah, we're still going to be using all of the concepts from the video game. We're going to try to get some Bricklink orders in for the Gene Stealers and the Terminator Marines. I'm not exactly sure if we're going to be doing the Sin of Damnation version of Space Hulk, but we are going to still be doing Space Hulk. We just don't know what genre of Space Hulk yet. I can anticipate maybe 20 to 35 Bricklink orders for that overall. And by the way, I'd say the same thing for both of the other MOCs. Now, moving on to the International Hearthstone Combat League, still at 22%, just like Warhammer. That is actually going to be going at the back area where the wooden board is at, where the other Warhammer MOC is at. That's going to be taking up that whole area. And I'm going to be setting up the arena very, very soon. I'm actually going to go and get the base plates shortly and then just put those there so that way when we move the Warhammer MOC out, I can actually put the base plates there and set up the arena how we need it to be set up. I have Justine working on ideas for the new sweeper bots that we're going to have to clean up the ruins of the destroyed robots for the Combat League, and I'm going to see what we can do as far as actually making this a card game, or a game that we can play and then we can actually make profit off of, well, not really profit, but we can make money off of at the conventions, since the theme of Bricks by the Bay for this coming year is fun and games. So we're going to see what we can get going with that, and hopefully we can get that going soon. Now we'll move on to the exclusive convention MOCs, so we're going to go back inside and I'm also going to update you guys on the progressions and go check the big board. Alright guys, so here we are, second half of the update. Don't got a lot of time guys, about maybe less than a minute and a half. So let's get down to it. Everything you see right here on this big board for the exclusive convention MOCs are, for at least for Bricks by the Bay, including the collaborations. That's exactly accurate. I'll have the full shebang just like I did the first 15 minutes of the video in the pictures that are going to be on Flickr for each and every single one of those MOCs, including the collaborations. As for the figure displays, I haven't really received anything new from either vendors I'm going to be promoting, such as RC Customs and Mayface for You. Although Mayface for You, there is a whole thing about him releasing a whole Marvel line because of the new Agent Coulson, and if he does release a full Marvel line, you're going to see that full Marvel line more than likely in the figure display. And then for RC Customs, he's just waiting on my word for the exact figures that we need. Like I said, for me 50 to 60 figures. So once we get those figures decided, I'm going to get those all duplicated and possibly put those on his stand as well. Haven't received business cards from either of them. And as for the team, we're debating on, that's at 100%. We're, by the way, the two things I just said, they're at 20%, the display cases for the figure promotions. As for the team, it's at 100%. We're debating on switching over to becoming a lug group as we're getting members very vastly, and I'll have more for you guys about that in the next update. And last thing I want to talk about is we're going to have a memorabilia wall here. We're going to have, we have that Misery Productions banner here. We're going to have a bunch of photos of the new members, well, actually everybody, and our awards are going to be also up on this wall. So, that is pretty much it for this portion of Bricks by the Bay 2014 exhibition update. Stay tuned for next week for the Bricks Cascade exhibition update number 3. We will hopefully be registered by that time, and please like, comment.